Be seated. Just a quick reminder, please do have your mask on. Social distancing is not possible with this many people. Thank you, Professor Molman, once again for starting out a service for us with the beautiful organ music. So thank you, Professor. We appreciate it so much. Good morning. My name is Dr. Dwayne Frazier, and I have the honor of serving as your university provost here and the campus academic dean for Iowa Wesleyan University. It is with great pride and privilege that I have the opportunity to officially commence the 2021 opening convocation service. This day is always one of my favorite days each year because it represents one of the many traditions of Iowa Wesleyan, the oldest coeducational institution in the state of Iowa and one of the oldest west of the Mississippi River. For those who are watching on this via live stream, we say thank you for joining us. For those that are in presence today that are here on this glorious, beautiful day here at our university chapel, we are very glad that you are here. We'd also like to take just a brief moment to say thank you to the Board of Trustee members that are able to be here today. Also, our friends from our partnership at Academic Affairs at Southeastern Community College. Thank you all for being with us. Our entire campus that is either watching online or the ones here, and then the most important people of all, you guys, the students. Thank you all so much for being here. What is opening convocation? Opening convocation marks the formal and official opening of the academic year. The ceremony is a direct reflection that each of you will experience at your commencement service in the years to come. This is the first major event of the academic year, and it's the purpose of this tradition is to welcome new and transfer students, as well as new faculty and staff here to the university. It is an important occasion that sets us on a new year of intellectual and self-discovery. For nearly 2 centuries, the university has served as a beacon of light in a region as an institution that believed that all people should have the opportunity for education, from legendary figures like Dr. James Van Allen or Arabella Babb Mansfield or Susan Mosley Grandison, to modern heroes like our space commander, Dr. Peggy Whitson. Iowa Wesleyan is a place where dreams really come true, right here in the middle of the cornfields of Iowa. So welcome to this new academic year, and let us make it the best in our 179 years of history. And as we begin the program today, I'm going to ask our good friend, Reverend David Brock Wagner, to the stage for an opening prayer. Reverend Brock Wagner is our senior pastor at the First United Methodist Church here in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. The First United Methodist Church has been the sister church of Iowa Wesleyan since our founding. He will be leading us in our opening prayer. Pastor Dave.
Let us pray. Most holy and gracious God, we come before you in the start of this academic year, in a season in which is filled with great potential, with hopes and dreams. We ask your blessing not only upon our studies, but also on all of our endeavors, from the classroom to the athletic fields, to the concert halls, to our dormitories where we gather together as friends. Lord, may your spirit flow through our campus and into our relationships, that we might grow not only as people, but as your followers. In Christ's name, amen.
Please allow me the brief opportunity to introduce our next speaker, Matt Klunt. He is currently our Dean of Students. Mr. Klunt arrived in Iowa Wesleyan in 2013. This gentleman is a tireless worker and advocate for the students, and I'm really proud to be able to allow him to come forward. Choir will be coming forward. And Matt, I think you'll wait just a minute. But Matt is a really good guy, so I just wanted to introduce him to you. Our choir is under the direction of Blair Buffington. Professor Buffington will be leading from the front here, but you'll see our entire choir, around 40 different individuals that are undergraduate and graduate students that'll be performing today. Professor Buffington, the floor is yours.
Thank you, choir. That was great. Welcome students, staff, faculty, and guests to the 2021-2022 academic year. We're so excited for everyone to be here with us today. My name is Matt Clunt, and I serve as the Dean of Students, and I get the pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to our wonderful campus today. It was actually not that long ago that I was sitting where you were. Back in 2013, I was a freshman here at Iowa Wesleyan University. Actually, back then it was college. I had no idea what my future plans were, and another thing I did not know was that one day this place I would consider my home. And I actually remember the words from my admissions counselor when I came to visit, and these words sold me on Iowa Wesleyan. Matt, this is the place where you can be successful. I remember those words throughout my years of undergrad work and later in my graduate work as well. Those words helped reassure me that I can be successful and that any obstacle that I face, I would overcome. I would also like to extend that to each of you here today as well. Iowa Wesleyan University is a place where you can be successful. There will be challenges, and there will be days that those obstacles in your way seem immovable. But I assure you that if you dig in just a little bit more, if you try a little harder, and if you ask for help, you will overcome. I'm really looking forward to this year, and I cannot wait to meet in fellowship with each and every one of you. As a couple of reminders, please remember that there is a mask requirement in all university buildings on campus. Once you're outside, you may take your mask off, but once you get in the buildings, please put those masks back on. Also, if you are one that have not had the COVID-19 vaccination and you would like to, please send me an email and I can hook you up to places around the area that provide that immediately. And remember, students that get the vaccine will get $50 cash. If you have any questions about policies and procedures, do not hesitate to stop by the Student Development Office located in the Student Union Building, which is underneath the cafeteria. Thank you.
I just once again say thank you to the choir. Absolutely wonderful performance. I'm going to give another clap there. Great guys, guys. I want to find a better choral director than Professor Buffington, who lives and breathes the choir, and we can all shake their head and know that he puts a lot of energy into it. If you are interested in our choral program, please speak to Professor Buffington. There's always opportunities for different types of programs that we have. Next to the stage is Dr. Cheryl Newland. She's an associate professor of education, and she's our faculty chair. Dr. Newland is currently in her 7th year at Iowa Wesleyan. She was the 2017 Chadwick Teacher of the Year. She's well respected by her colleagues around campus for her infectious humor, her warm spirit, her constant smile, and her outstanding wit. Please help me welcome Dr. Newland to the stage.
Good morning. Somebody's talking to me. There we go. I bring you greetings on behalf of the faculty of Iowa Wesleyan University. Whether you're joining us here today as you are in person or you're joining us virtually, we are so happy to have our students back to campus. You bring excitement and energy to our campus that's been missing all summer. In fact, in my office, I can hear the doors to the bottom of the library open in the summer. I encourage you to build community by getting involved in activities, both inside and outside of your courses. This place is very special, and you'll build friendships and make connections that will be important to you for the rest of your life. I encourage you to build relationships with your advisors and professors, explore and participate in the co-curricular options, attend events on campus, make use of the support resources available to you. All of us here are here because we want you to have a diverse and well-rounded learning environment. Our goal is that you'll be successful, not only at Iowa Wesleyan, but also in your life and career. Again, welcome to Iowa Wesleyan.
Now I'd like to briefly introduce Demetrius Holmes, our Student Government Association president. I have known Demetrius well since his first year at this institution, and I'm proud to be able to play a small role in his years at this institution. Originally from Chicago, Mount Pleasant has become a second home to this young man, and we're very proud of him, especially now that he's able to serve as the president of SGA. Demetrius, please come forward.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Demetrius Holmes, and I'm your student government president. I appreciate the love and support from everyone who elected me into this position. The Iowa Wesleyan family has grown strong over the years, and each year we continue to get bigger. As Tigers, we face the distinction of being leaders, history breakers, and moment makers. Every single moment at Iowa Wesleyan will show you that family is what makes us closer, and doing so, family will always do what's best for one another. The good, the bad, and the stress will test how tenacious you can be. The inspiration from others before you can shape the best future for tomorrow. Currently, we are transitioning from the pandemic era. This year, we have students from 3 different eras: the pre-pandemic, the pandemic, and the post-pandemic. The pre-pandemic era was something we call a blast from the past. Everything was traditional, and there were some improvements that needed to be made. In the pandemic era, we had to change and assess what we needed to do. We lived, we learned, and we adapted to change. Was it scary? Yes. Was it something we prepared for? No. But we as a family managed to get through it one step at a time. Now, in the post-pandemic era, it's different. We have expanded within every aspect of Wesleyan. We are the believers and we are the dreamers. We are the future, and Iowa Wesleyan will make sure our success stories become the inevitable. This is our moment. Seize it, and together we can continue to make Iowa Wesleyan a place of amazing history and family. Now, my Wesleyan family, I have something important to address. Over the summer, one of our own is no longer with us, Omarion Bones. I miss you, my brother, and I will never forget the memories. Continue to watch over the family, and we will do the same. Save me a seat. I still owe you a loss in 2K and Madden. Don't forget that. Thank you.
Demetrius will leave a little bit early at the end of the service because the SGA will be having a balloon program to honor the life of Omarion Bones at the end of this. So thank you, especially to the football players for wearing their jerseys today. That's important. Thanks to Coach Daniels and the team for making sure you all did that. Thanks again, Dr. Newland, for your words, and for Demetrius. We appreciate all the words of wisdom and encouragement. I would now like to welcome to the stage our Vice President for Enrollment, Marketing, and Communication, Ms. Meg Rickman. Ms. Rickman is commencing her 9th year of service here at IW. She oversees our university admissions and our admissions office, our marketing team, enrollment team. She has some great information to share with you. It's very interesting, so please give a chance for Meg to come to the floor. Thank you.
All right. Again, shorter than everybody else, like usual. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tigers. Really happy to be with you all this morning. And as Dr. Frazier says, I get to have the distinct privilege of talking about all of you and this class and how fun that is. So hold tight, we got a lot of information to share. So you have joined one of the most historic universities in the country. With nearly a 180-year history, Iowa Wesleyan has educated people who have been innovators in the field and the world. People who have pioneered women's rights, been leaders in scientific discovery, are record-breaking astronauts, have served as governors, had led Division I football programs, have made major medical breakthroughs, have been leaders in the international finance, and countless others who continue to make a difference in this world. You join this elite group of Iowa Wesleyan students with the opportunity to make your mark on history. There are a few interesting facts that I want you to know about your incoming class and what you represent. First and foremost, you are 375 new Iowa Wesleyan Tigers. And guess what? you go down in history, as we can't really find records that go back that show a larger group of entering new students. Your freshman class is 289 strong, the largest class since 1966. There are 41 new international students from around the globe. In conjunction with our returning international students, you represent nearly 30 different countries. There are 77 new transfer students representing a variety of community colleges and other four-year institutions. Our transfers come from 15 different states. There are nearly 260 first-time college students from the United States. You represent 35 different states and one U.S. territory of Puerto Rico. We even have one student who came from Hawaii. Our top 5 states are Iowa, Texas, and I know you're out there, Texas, Illinois, Missouri, and California. This class is one of the most diverse classes in the history of the university, a fact that is to be celebrated as we continue to be leaders in Iowa and the country in diversity. Your class and this community reflect the countless aspects of diversity in this country and the world, a factor that will significantly enhance your educational experience. Your class has indicated an initial interest of over 33 different areas of study. It's okay if you want to change your major or a couple of times and represent other academic areas as well. We will support you in those decisions. Take this from someone who changed her major not once, but 3 times over the course of her college experience. There are a number of you who are also undecided, so take that time to explore the many options as you navigate the year. You are a very involved group. Over 83% of you new students are student athletes and will have the opportunity this year to represent their team. At the same time, many of you represent Iowa Wesleyan with your musical and artistic talents. Many of you will be involved in various clubs, organizations, intramurals, and other on and off campus activities. We support your endeavors outside the classroom, and we know you will be an outstanding representative of Iowa Wesleyan. And many of you are first in your family to attend college. We are so proud of you and understand the family commitment it takes to your educational goals. We know you are representing your families with pride. You, the class of 2025, bear the unique mantle of navigating the college search the entire time during a pandemic. Some of you may have taken a gap year. Some of you may not have had a chance to physically step on this campus until you arrived to Iowa Wesleyan for check-in. And I'm sure many of you spent the last year and a half or so in your high school and colleges doing pretty much online classes. There is a very good chance that the classes you started this week at Iowa Wesleyan may have been the first time you in face-to-face classes in a long time. We certainly hope we can keep these experiences and these engagements going throughout the year. Your generation has certainly been shaped by some of the most significant moments in history, from terrorist attacks to a world pandemic, from the importance of the Black Lives Matter movement and the significant systematic changes in social justice and racism that we must make. And I believe you are the generation to lead this change. And even though COVID-19 has taken a lot of your control over the last couple of years, you have the power to move toward things that inspire you. And that is what I hope for each one of you as you move through your journey here at Iowa Wesleyan. This entire community looks forward to growing with you as we work together to achieve your educational, career, and personal goals. Please remember to be tenacious in your pursuits, be inspired by others, and seek to be inspiring. Be a citizen with global presence and awareness in this diverse community. Engage in your learning in and out of the classroom, and be respectful of yourself, of others, and of this historic university. Thank you for joining Iowa Wesleyan University, and go Tigers.
Thank you, Meg. Already history makers, one of the largest classes in the history of the university.
I'm so sorry.
In just a moment, we'll have our address from our president, who I'll introduce, and then Professor Barry Buffington, our director of choral activities, will lead us in our Wesleyan hymn, and then our pastor, Dave Brock-Wagner, will come forward again. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce the 30th president of Iowa Wesleyan University, as well as the very first female president in our storied 179 years of history, Ms. Christine Plunkett. Chris has held administrative and executive positions in leadership, accounting, and finance for more than 25 years, including 20 years in secondary and higher education and several years as a technology consultant and small business owner. Through the Registry of Colleges and University Presidents, she first joined our executive team at Iowa Wesleyan in July 2015 as our Vice President for Finance and Treasury. Prior to joining Iowa Wesleyan, President Plunkett had served in executive positions, including 7 years at Burlington College in Burlington, Vermont, including 2 years as their president. It is with great pleasure and honor that I have this opportunity to welcome to the stage your president and my president, President Christine Plunkett.
Thank you, Dr. Fraser. Good morning. In officially opening our new academic year, I want to start by extending my sincere thanks to our faculty and staff for all that you have done over the busy summer months to prepare for the arrival of our students. I also extend my thanks to our trustees who contribute significant time and resources to ensure that our university remains strong and that we fulfill our mission of providing you with a transformational learning experience. As we welcomed you to campus this past week for the start of the new academic year, many of us found ourselves still reeling from the challenges that COVID brought us last year. At the same time, we've been filled with excitement at the thought of what this new year could bring. This dichotomy brings to mind the famous opening line from Charles Dickens' novel, A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. Our campus community this fall is characterized by tremendous excitement, optimism, and hope that we're returning to a year where you, our students, can focus on your academic studies, your creative and artistic outlets, athletic pursuits, and social activities with the exuberance that campus life is meant to foster. Our faculty and staff and coaches are yearning for a year where our energy can be devoted to providing you with an engaging and supportive experience in and out of the classroom. We're bursting at the seams in a wonderful way. Our 375 new undergraduates represent the largest enrollment of new IW students since 1935, 86 years ago. Our total undergraduate enrollment of 700 is the largest since 1970. That's more than 50 years ago. The vibrancy that this expansion brings to our campus has been evident throughout the past week, and these are indeed the best of times at Iowa Wesleyan University. Meanwhile, challenges and tragedies around the world cannot help but draw our attention and our despair. For families who have lost loved ones to COVID, for the people of Haiti and Afghanistan, and for countless others who suffer from food and housing insecurity, political and racial strife, the lack of access to an education, or other barriers to an independent and healthy life, these are the worst of times. As an educational institution, it's our mission and our obligation to empower and inspire you to lead meaningful lives and careers. Building the foundation of a meaningful life necessarily requires an understanding of our basic freedoms and rights and the responsibility that accompanies them. In the United States, our freedoms are largely defined through three historic documents: the Declaration of Independence, the United States Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. I think it's worth reflecting briefly on how these rights were won. 270 years ago, in 1751, a 19-year-old man, about the age of many of you, sailed with his brother from America to Barbados. His brother had been sick with tuberculosis, and they were hoping that the warm sea air would help him to recover. During their stay in Barbados, this 19-year-old young man acquired smallpox. He was bedridden for weeks with fever, chills, aches, stomach pains, and a rash. He was fortunate to recover. At the time, about 3 out of 10 people who became sick with smallpox died. 24 years later, in 1775, America's 13 colonies were engaged in a revolution seeking independence from Great Britain. An even greater threat than the British soldiers at that time was the smallpox pandemic. Smallpox had existed for centuries through many parts of the world, and most of the British soldiers had been exposed in the past and had some immunity. But the American soldiers were highly vulnerable. Remember that 19-year-old who went to Barbados? Does anyone here know who that was? You got it. Well, George Washington was now the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army. He recalled his lengthy illness with smallpox, and he recognized how easily his entire army could become incapacitated. He felt that he had 3 options. He could allow everyone to be exposed and acquire some kind of natural immunity, which would potentially put the entire army out of commission. He could quarantine the army, which would essentially amount to the same thing, or he could inoculate the army using a relatively new but seemingly successful early form of vaccination known as variolation. His subsequent first in history massive immunization campaign, which mandated smallpox inoculations for long enough for all of the Continental soldiers, staved off smallpox for long enough to win the years-long fight for independence. This successful exercise turned out to be one of the most important factors in deciding the American victory in the war. We're fighting our own battle here on campus to avoid a return to last year's challenging COVID restrictions. We cannot mandate vaccines, but we ask that you consider, as George Washington did, your responsibility to our greater community. You may believe your own risk of serious illness or death is minimal, but don't forget, as in any family, our IW family includes the elderly. It includes individuals with compromised immune systems. It includes others vulnerable to those serious risks. We're fighting for relatively small freedoms to be rid of our masks, to continue our academic offerings face-to-face, to engage in full athletic seasons, and to be fully together in community without restrictions. We want you to be out in your world, spending time with your friends and loved ones, engaging with your professors and coaches, confident that you are not unknowingly spreading an illness with potentially lasting and tragic consequences. I debated whether to open the year with yet another discussion of these risks of COVID, but in the best of times, it's critical that we never lose sight of the worst of times. They're always in our rearview mirror, and it only takes a very small bump in the road for them to gain ground. If you are already vaccinated, thank you for helping to protect our community. If you're not vaccinated, please make arrangements to do that as soon as you can. Earn your $50, earn your all-you-can-eat pizza party, listen for the additional incentives we're going to continue to offer, and earn the profound gratitude of our nurse, your professors, your coaches, and the rest of your Iowa Wesleyan family. To our new entering class of 2025, to our returning students, transfer students, online students, those preparing to graduate in December and May, faculty, staff, trustees, and to all of you who have found your home away from home here at Iowa Wesleyan, welcome to the start of our new academic year. If you've come here for a very specific activity or pursuit, remember, the most rewarding university years encompass a collection of experiences. Please open yourself to all that our campus has to offer. If one activity doesn't seem like the right fit, or if it isn't enough to keep you engaged, be brave and try something new and different. Every single one of us here on campus is here to support you through your journey, and we can help you find your niche. Let's celebrate the best of times and keep ahead of anything approaching from behind. This is a time of extraordinary opportunity at the university, and I am so pleased to be sharing this exciting year ahead with you. Thank you.
The words will be up on the screen here for the Wesleyan hymn, and Professor Buffington will be leading us.
Please join me. Stand as we sing our alma mater. I have the auspicious duty or privilege, or I'm not sure what to call it, but I stand between you all and lunch. So hear now our benediction. Receive it. Lord, as we go from this place, may we go filled with thy Spirit. As we go from this place, may we not only be filled with your Spirit, but may it overflow in our actions, in our deeds, in our words, in our thoughts, that we might be your people each day. Amen.
Stay seated. As we were discussing as a part of the traditions, look in front. This is the university mace, and the people that carry that mace are the longest serving faculty members in the institution. Dr. Joe Brown, who's our music professor emeritus, will raise his hand up. This is Professor Brown. You'll see him on campus. And then the young lady beside him is Dr. D.P. Wilson. You'll see their picture actually together on one of these different, I think it's right there. Dr. D.P. Wilson is on her 59th year teaching at Iowa Wesleyan University. When I say how amazing that one of your students became the commander of the space station, one of your students was Science Teacher of the Year, she said, well, I was bound in this many years to get one right or two. Special thanks to Video Production Services, VPS, for serving as our production team with IW Online and IT for all the additional support and assistance in the live stream. So thank you for all of that to everybody helping. Thanks to our physical plant for this beautiful setup that's up here today. Also to the assistant to the provost, Ms. Patty Carson, who worked all the logistics behind the scenes. Amazing job there. Also to all the platform party. It does take a lot of time to write those speeches, put things together, look up the information. So special thank you there. Music program, we have the best music program in the state of Iowa, I'm convinced. Special thanks to Professor Buffington and Carl Bowman today for their parts in the music. please stand in your seat where you are. Please, everyone stand up. We will start in just a second. When we get the mace, we'll start the processional. Please wait until the faculty and the platform party is out, and then meet us out on the lawn there, where we will have the opportunity to honor and celebrate the life of Marion Bones. So once again, thank you for coming and being a part of this important day. It's truly always a great day to be a Tiger. So please listen as we do the processional. You'll be first.